Now, this Women's Month, we are featuring someone who best exemplifies not just duality, but the trinity of a woman. A full-time dentist, a mother, a triathlete who had been the fastest woman in the Philippines. We take a peek into her life and ask what keeps it going for a superwoman like her. Dubbed as Kakana and the Lady Beast, please say hello to Rhia Stawicki. Rhia, hello, welcome to the show.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me here.
Good morning. Now, fastest woman in the Philippines, you bagged that title in the Ironman Davao 2023, right? And of course, that's not just the title you're holding. People also call you Doc. And then your twins call you Mom. You wearing so many hats. And before, I was supposed to ask you about your races for my first question, but I want to know first, how did it all start for you? I know I read an article that you actually started running during the pandemic when all the gyms were closed. So how did everything start?
So actually, during pandemic, I mean, after giving birth to my twins, you know, you want to keep fit, you want to be in shape. So I used to do sports when I was young. So sports and keeping fit is really my daily thing. So during the pandemic, all the gyms were closed. So the only thing I was doing was YouTube, you know, Chloe thing. So Chloe thing was the biggest thing there, like 30 minutes abs. So I was like, I'm tired of this. I need to get outdoors. So they started opening up. And the only thing that I could do was just really run outside, bike. And so a friend of mine introduced me to getting a bike. So I said, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And then, it led to everything. I met Tri Clark, met my coach, Abe Tayag. So I didn't know that I'd be in this situation in this sport. I didn't know it would be in a competitive level. I just thought it was just, you know, just sweating and, you know, keeping fit.
When did the bug bite you?
Actually, a week after.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't wake up in the morning. So this sport, you have to wake up at 5. So actually, it took me a while because, you know, you have to wake up at 5 a.m., get ready. So it's like, this is just not doable. And then after a week, you start running with people, you start biking with people, and then the competition starts. So I was like, I like this. So I got coached by my coach, Cap Abe, and then I just got addicted and hooked.
Yeah, I mean, you used to do tennis before.
Yes, I used
so
to do
I
tennis.
feel like maybe from the three, the running, the swimming, and the biking, would you say running would be the easiest? And which one was the most challenging for you?
Running would be the easiest because I did tennis and soccer.
Okay.
So in CEU, I did futsal. So I joined WNCAA. Tennis, I did competitive tennis when I was young. So the running was always incorporated with the sport. But the most difficult was swimming. Because I didn't know how to swim. I knew how to swim to survive, just to get to the other side of the pool, and to float, just in case of an emergency. But when I started swimming in triathlon, there was a lot of, it's technique sensitive, patience, and then you have to go fast, and breathing, you're in the water. So it's a whole different, sports, swimming in sports is different than just swimming. So that was that was very complicated and very tough for me.
And most of the time, you guys swim in like in oceans where you can't see anything.
So
it's so scary.
With triathlon also, it's not just swimming, but you have to sight. So when you sight, while you're swimming, you're looking at like a specific a spot where you're sighting. That's what we call. So during race season, we also go to Subic. We practice that. So it's not just swimming, but you have to practice like sighting, the waves. It's not like in the pool. And then in the race, it's completely different. It's like a washing machine. You're swimming with like thousands of people. So it's like you're just surviving.
You know, the interesting thing is that you mentioned your sports background, and it's tennis and futsal. And the thing is, in tennis and futsal, you see who you're playing against. But then when you do when you compete in triathlons, you technically can see who you're up against, but at the end of the day, that's not who you're necessarily competing against. It's normally very internal. So how did you adjust in terms of that mindset, knowing that, you know?
Well, with triathlon, there's also competitions with other athletes. But it's more internal, as you said. It's more the mental state.
Yeah.
I think it's a very hard sport. It's very different from tennis.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you just miss one thing. There's nutrition. There is transitioning. It's very because you're from swimming, you're gonna go to the bike.
Yeah.
And then from the bike, you're going to the run. So you're putting stuff in your bike. You're putting stuff, and then at the same time, especially in the run, you have this little bad person behind you saying, why are you doing this? why are you running? You should be sleeping. And then you're like, so it's a more of a mental sport. I mean, like, you're racing for 5 hours straight on your own.
Yeah.
I mean, like, even if people are cheering you on, it's all about you. It's all about you. But I love it. I have a team behind me, and whenever I win, it's also their win.
Their win, yeah.
So it's it's very different from tennis and futsal.
Well, I want to know, it's one thing to train physically, right? But like you keep mentioning, it's all a mental state. So how did you train your mental capabilities?
With mental, I think that's the advantage I had with sports back then. I mean, I'm used to the push, I'm used to the pressure, I'm used to the discipline.
The grind, yeah.
But the mental part is like, it's a whole, actually on the bike, I put music on. You really have to keep yourself and tell yourself that you got this.
Right.
Because once you tell yourself, like, I'm tired, things are starting to hurt, then everything starts to hurt. So talagang push. You have to keep yourself. At the same time, I have my teammates. They always cheer for me. I love them so much. They're always like, Rhia, keep going, keep going. So it helps mentally. You have to just keep focused.
Rhia, I am a mom as well. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and I know how crazy your schedule can get being a working mom, right? And, people say you can have it all, but you cannot have it all at once. Yeah. So you're juggling, being a mom, being a triathlete, and the training, how tedious it is, right? To be always fit, right? And also you're a full-time dentist. So what are the challenges that come with, juggling all these three? How do you balance everything?
Well, honestly, it does get overwhelming. But then it's all about time and balance and doing things that you really love to do. Like, I love being a mom. I love being a dentist. I knew I was going to be a dentist since I was 4. And I love sports. So I think if you do have passion for all of this, you do get to put it in your time. So, I mean, my schedule every day is a bit crazy. I have to wake up at 5, train until 7 or 8, have my coffee, go to the clinic at 10, and then I work till 5 p.m. Well, some days I get like a relaxed day, and then I attend to my kids.
Okay.
So I put them to bed. I make sure they have dinner. But I do love it every day. I do love my daily routine, even if people think it's a bit hectic.
Yeah. And your twins are 7 years old.
7 years old.
And I can just imagine, like, them running around in the house that already feels like a triathlon
Like I was
experience already at home, right?
It's a transition.
Yes. What are your non-negotiables, when it comes to like really handling everything?
I'm really strict with my kids and with the routine. So I have to really stick with I really have to stick with the routine. Okay. That's like my non-negotiable. I can't go out of my way. So, for example, bedtime is bedtime, sport time is sport time, clinic is clinic time.
Okay. But have there been instances where you got thrown off, and what did you do? How did you adjust to that?
Well, you just have to, accept it and go on with it. I mean, of course, especially with kids.
Yes.
It doesn't
It's
always
very
go. It
unpredictable.
doesn't. Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
My kids are unpredictable. I mean, there's tantrums, there's everything.
Yeah.
But then you just have to, take it day by day and just.
Look at that.
Keep
They're
going.
So adorable.
Yeah. They're also doing. They join some of the.
Do they train with you? Like when you go running, they
You know what?
come with you?
You know what? I try to get them in triathlon, but they're at that point where they want to do something different. They're into gymnastics and tennis.
Okay, that's so cute.
Yeah, but I always tell them they have to do sports. I push them with sports.
Right.
Because they get to meet and the discipline people.
Look at you snowboarding too. I feel like you're doing every sport.
We went to
So
Japan for a
adorable.
holiday. Yeah, they're amazing kids.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's if there was snowboarding in part of the triathlon, I think you'd be doing it too. But then, just you talk about the discipline. You mentioned discipline here, and when you talk about using sports to kind of educate your kids in a way, is that your way of bringing them into your life?
My dad was into sports as well. I think the reason why I want them to be in sports is that they get to socialize, especially nowadays. Kids are just always on their iPads.
Right.
Second, they learn discipline. They learn to listen to their coach. Patience. Of course, when I was young, my dad not only taught me how to win, but also taught me how to lose.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part, how to accept defeat. So with sports, there's a lot of lessons that you learn that, I let my kids go. And then, now they know how to wake up, they know how to get ready for tennis or gymnastics, they get to listen. So, nalilesen yung a little bit of their tantrums or a little bit of their behavior. So they know how to deal with other people.
Yeah, 'cause I love that thought because I always feel that the gap between a win and a loss is the opportunity for growth.
Yes.
So when you look at that, then again, they're so young. They're so young, and you're juggling all these things. We were talking a while ago that you spent 6 years studying dentistry.
Yes.
And then decided to move back out of Manila and focus your life there. I mean, like it feels so planned, and you mentioned it a while ago that it could be a bit hectic. But how do you? Because you have to break free from routine from time to time.
Well, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still have my fun and all that. But then, it's not as planned.
Yeah.
No. Life is not planned. I mean, but I'm just lucky to be where I am right now.
Okay.
And then, as I said, like, I stick to a routine, but if it does break away a little bit, you just,
That's okay.
it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, life is just funny,
I have a theory, by the way. Did you run all the way here? Or?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But I wanted to.
Yeah, I was thinking. You said you get up at 5, the show starts at 7. Like,
No, I was thinking
She
to
would
bike
have made
here.
it
Right? I could bike
why
here.
not?
Yeah, why not?
I think now you already broke your routine because you're here.
Yeah,
and
Don't
it's
worry,
already
I'll be
part of
working
your
out later.
schedule.
Oh my God. Well, speaking of working out, what other races will you be joining, I guess, in the coming future?
Right now, I still don't. I'm doing the Go Clark races. So those who do want to start multi-sports, there's races in Clark.
Yeah.
So I'm doing those. There's actually a race every month.
Oh,
but then a big race, nothing yet. But then again, tomorrow something comes up.
Yeah. What I love about the fact that we're talking about such an individual sport in the sense that you're basically competing, and I know you're part of a team, but you're competing at the end of the day. It's technically your name there and with whatever record, but then it is such a social thing. I don't know any triathlete who trains by themselves or just by themselves, but because in the norm, it feels to me, correct me if I'm wrong, is that there has to be that strong community factor in that social factor, that team factor. Just how big is your team behind your races in terms of getting you prepared, getting you ready mentally, physically, and everything else?
So that's the difference between the multi-sport. I mean, I wouldn't be here without my team or my coach. I mean, every day you push each other. So you're literally next to each other on the bike, pushing each other. Sometimes we have a little bit of, well, not friendly competition, but we get a little bit aggressive to each other. And I think that really helps. I mean, I started as nothing. And I didn't expect, but then with the help of my teammates, I mean, like I'm training with the guys, and then I train with, we have juniors in our team, so they're like the younger ones. So imagine I'm trying to keep up with them, and they're 18. I mean, like these kids
That's
are just
probably
like
how you became the fastest
actually,
woman, honestly.
Yeah, so I mean, like with the help of my team, that's why I'm here. I mean, if it was just me by myself, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, now I want to talk about what you eat, because you mentioned that earlier. So, does your team help you and maybe hold you accountable to what you guys eat, or is it
like
very,
nutrition?
Yeah, or is it very just lax?
It's funny. I'm the worst eater.
Yeah.
I'm really bad. I mean, I can have chips for dinner.
Yeah.
And but when it comes to racing, we do have a specific nutrition.
Okay.
I mean, like we have to practice that. So that's a little bit different with triathlon.
Yeah.
While you're biking, you're eating. I mean, some people have sandwiches wrapped through their bikes.
Yeah.
So it depends. Like I could be having like a nutrition bar. You could have your peanut butter sandwich on the bike. So there's not really whatever you're used to. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, okay.
we practice this. So some people can go the whole race with just cookies.
Yeah.
Some people have specific brands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or their tummy gets a little bit upset.
Yeah.
So with eating, kanya-kanya.
Yeah,
Kanya-kanya
teach his
kami.
own, yeah.
You know, Mo, you know how I knew she takes it seriously? She
What?
said nutrition and not diet.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Because that's a big
Okay.
distinction. That's a
Yeah.
big distinction because when you think about nutrition, you're thinking about
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the fuel.
so my
Yes.
diet is a little bit off, but my nutrition's on
Yes.
point. There you go.
Yes.
There you go. There you go.
And you're
Yeah.
a mom too, so you need to be, watching whatever you put on your kids' plates,
Yeah.
right? Or are you that kind of mom?
No, when they're not looking, of course I eat anything I want. But I mean, like, yes, I try to be healthy for my kids.
Okay.
So I try to eat, vegetables and be a good role model.
Oo.
But of course, we do have fun. We do
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
the ice
That's
cream.
true, yeah.
When you're not around them,
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah. When they're sleeping, I'm munching on the
Yeah,
chocolates.
or you lock yourself up in a closet or something, and then you
Yeah.
eat your ice cream
Yeah.
there.
So for those who want to get started in multi-sport training and racing and competing, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have looked up to you already. But what would your advice be to those who are at least curious about it?
Well, I mean, it's worth to give it a shot. It's a very good, as you said, it's a good community sport also. You get to meet a lot of people. So those who want to actually start with the sport, I mean, there's lots of races. Now everything's on social media. I mean, I'm always in Clark, so we have Go Clark events. So you can search that up. And, there's a Cycles and Brews, a bike shop in Clark. You can look for us if you want to join our running groups.
Pero may iwan ka.
Hindi na. I'll be with you a bit.
No, but then, apart from, of course, we ask you for your advice for the new ones, what do you say to those who say that, I'm too busy for this?
Yeah, especially the moms. Because the working moms, their schedules are so packed, and sometimes they think, I don't have time to go to the gym or to exercise. What's your advice for them?
Well, I mean, I really don't believe in the term too busy. I mean, if you do love what you do put time.
You make time.
But then I do understand, like, for example, those doctors or those professionals or any job that's like graveyard shift.
Yeah.
I mean, as I said, you always have to put a routine. So, I mean, like, you can always put a 30-minute jog in between somewhere.
Yeah.
Or, for example, with triathlon, it's not always just outdoor. You can do it indoor.
Yes.
So you can have a treadmill, or if you have a gym at home, or like a bike setup. So, it depends. It depends. It's really, you have to squeeze it in.
Right.
If you want to do it. There you go.
Thank you so much for joining us. I wish we had more time.
Yeah.
We have so many things to talk about, but thank you for joining us this morning. Rhia Stawicki, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Don't go